In this video, I'm going to be making Butterfinger Cupcakes. These are from Hollywood Boulevard, Disney's Hollywood Studios. This is from the Unofficial Disney Parks Cookbook. This was sent to us from Georgianne, so thank you very much to Georgianne. So the Butterfinger Cupcakes, it tells you to make the cupcake recipe on another page. So I have the other page saved. These are actually the same base cupcakes for the cookies and cream cupcakes that they make for on Main Street in Disneyland in California. So we're going to use that base recipe, and then we're going to flip back over so that we can go into the actual Butterfinger recipe. So what you want to do is you want to preheat your oven to 350. You line 2 standard muffin tins with cupcake liners and set aside. So I've already done that. This is one of them. I just kept it over here to show you. So we're going to set that to the side. And now I'm going to tell you what you need for this recipe. You will need 3 tablespoons of salted butter, softened, 1.5 cups granulated sugar, 2 large eggs, 1 teaspoon vanilla extract, 1 1/3 cups all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon baking soda, 2 teaspoons baking powder, 3/4 cup cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, and 1 cup of whole milk. And the first thing you're going to do is in the bowl of a stand mixer, you're going to add your butter and sugar. And then you're going to cream those together. To this, you're going to add your eggs and vanilla. You're going to add your baking soda, baking powder, salt, cocoa, and your flour. And then once all that's combined, you're going to start adding your milk slowly. This is my mixture, and it's thick. So Georgianne actually sent us this nice container with this pouring spout, but this is so thick that I don't know if this is going to work. So I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to pour some in here, and then we're going to fill up our cupcakes in. Yeah, see how thick that is? I don't know that it's going to pour out of this like it would ordinarily. It says filling the cups just above halfway. Original Butterfinger Cupcakes, it says line a jumbo muffin tin with jumbo cupcake liners. I don't have a jumbo muffin tin, and I've never bought jumbo cupcake liners. I've just never had that before. So this is the standard size cupcake, and for this specific recipe that I'm following anyway for these cupcakes, it makes 24 cupcakes. So this is just normal size cupcakes. So even though we're making the Butterfinger cupcakes, we're just going to make normal size. So now you want to bake them for 15 minutes or until a toothpick inserted in the middle comes out clean. You want to remove them from the oven and allow them to cool completely about an hour before frosting. This is how the cupcakes look after baking for 15 minutes. So now we want to allow them to sit for 1 hour before frosting them. Once your cupcakes are cooled completely, you use a sharp knife to cut a hole 1 inch in diameter and 1 inch deep out of the middle of each and reserve the remaining pieces. So I'm not good with sizes at all. That this recipe is for for the jumbo cupcakes. So the next step is to add a tablespoon of hot fudge to the center. Well, I won't be adding a tablespoon. I need to get like a teaspoon and add teaspoons. This is not good. I'm just gonna have to pick up pieces and plug these back, because you're gonna plug the hole back again. So now basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna plug these holes with the hot fudge, and then it wants you to take the extra, the pieces that you took out and plug it back in. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm just gonna use a spoon and my finger, because this is really thick. And so I'm just gonna put it right in there, and then I'll lay a little piece of cake on the top. Give you the ingredients for the buttercream frosting and for the topping all together. You need a half a cup of salted butter softened. If you lay this butter out while your cupcakes are baking, then by the time you get to this point, it'll be softened. You need 3 cups of confectioner sugar, which I've already put in my mixing bowl. You need 1 tablespoon of heavy cream, white on white, you might not be able to see it well, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then for the topping, you're gonna need 2 cups of milk chocolate chips. Honestly, I have 3/4 of a cup is dark chocolate, just because I had them and wanted to go ahead and use them up. So, but you need 2 cups total of milk chocolate chips, and then you're going to use 20 Butterfinger Minis candies. Now, these Butterfinger Fun Size, you get 16 in a package, so it's having you use 20, so you actually have to buy 2 bags of these. But you're going to, this is how I'm going to do it. You're going to put them in a bag. They're going to have to be finely crushed, and so I'm going to use a rolling pin. But I'm thinking that they sell Butterfinger already crushed up in the baking aisle. Maybe that wasn't a thing when this cookbook was made, but you could also probably buy a bag of that and be a lot easier. But the first thing we're going to do is the buttercream frosting. So in your stand mixer, you're going to add your butter, confectioner sugar, cream, and vanilla. So you know, I ended up adding another tablespoon of heavy cream to this mixture because it was so very, very thick. I'm getting, what I'm doing here is I have a glass, I have a Ziploc bag, it's just a regular sandwich size bag. If you don't have a piping bag, then it's just easy to do like this. And I'm just gonna, you see how thick that is though? I mean, that's some thick stuff. But that's good. I mean, because that way it's not gonna slide off. So I do think that's a good thing. So I'm just gonna fill this up some. And then I can always add more. And I'm going to frost the top of my cupcakes. I'm going to crush these is I'm just going to use a rolling pin and just crush. Now you could use a food processor,
or a chopper.
a chopper.
Hammer.
Because, yeah, I mean, Kevin likes the old hammer. So what we're going to do, actually, I think my fingers are working just as well as the rolling pin. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to take our chocolate and we're going to microwave it on high for 30 seconds, stir it, then microwave it for another 15 seconds, repeat microwaving in 15-second increments, stirring between each until the chocolate has just melted. So this is why your piping job does not matter. So like the piping job on this one, look at that. That looks just terrible. You're gonna take your melted chocolate and you're gonna put it over the top. And it said you want to cover all that frosting. Now, that's just not gonna happen. I can tell you that right now. Because that would take...
Well, how thick would that chocolate be?
I know. I mean, my goodness. That's because that's a lot of chocolate right there. And then you want to sprinkle your Butterfinger over the top. And there you go. And now you just sit it to let it dry. To press your Butterfinger pieces down, you'll notice that even though it said to cover all that white, I'm leaving the white. I think it looks really pretty. If you want it to look just like the one at Disney, then yes, you would be covering all this white. Apparently, when you buy them there, you can't see any of that. And I would say, if you go to Disney, they probably dip theirs. They probably don't do what I'm doing right here. I'd say they just dip it in there, and it's a lot easier. But for me and for the directions they gave, I just think it looks really, really pretty to leave some of that white showing. As I'm reading the description, keep in mind that you were supposed to make a jumbo muffin with jumbo.
Yeah, like the big ones.
Huge. So as I'm reading this, you'll know why I'm reminding you of that. I made regular size cupcakes. I think most of you watching this have regular size cupcake tins. It says Butterfinger Cupcakes used to be sold at Starring Rolls Cafe at Disney's Hollywood Studios, but Starring Rolls Cafe was closed in 2017. When the Butterfinger Cupcakes were seen again at the Trolley Car Cafe, they were smaller than they were back at Starring Rolls. Apparently, they were recreated this way because they were too top-heavy in the pastry case and were prone to falling over. Have no fear, these cupcakes follow the original huge design so you can live on the edge. So, you know.
So we probably made what they're selling now.
We were probably making what they're selling now instead of what they had back then. I want to cut this in half though, because I want to see if we can see that fudge in the hot fudge in the middle. That came off really easy. Now, you know, if you've watched any of my baking videos, normally I spray oil, cooking spray in my cupcake tins. I didn't do that. It didn't have any issue at all. So
I think some cupcakes would come out harder than others.
And these, just so you know, it says to let them sit for half an hour to let that milk chocolate firm up. Ours have probably been sitting more like an hour. So I don't know if you can get a good view.
I'll make sure I get some of that fudge. It's good.
That's delicious.
I like the, I think I like the frosting about as good as any of it.
You know what? I wish I had tried that white frosting by itself. I meant to.
Here's some.
I meant to, and then I just I didn't.
Just a little bit.
And I wish.
That frosting tastes like bakery frosting.
Yeah, I wish I had gotten a spoonful, and I just completely missed out on that.
Those are good. The cupcake itself is a little dense. Like really dense. It's not airy, but it's got a good flavor to it.
I love the textures going on in it. The hot fudge. Now, some people would say, Tammy, you should have put that in the microwave and heated it up to let it loosen up a little bit. Because
flow a little bit.
What?
Flow a little bit.
Yes. To make it runnier, a lot of times if you're going to use that hot fudge sauce on your ice cream, you do want to heat it up. For these cupcakes though, no. I wanted it to be thick. I wanted it to be a thick gob of that hot fudge, and it's incredible. Love the texture.
It's really good. It balances out really well.
Very, very, very sweet.
It is. Just know the cupcake itself, that this recipe is a denser cupcake, but it's probably good to hold all the stuff up, you know.
Yes, but I like it
But
that it's
super
dense
sweet.
because you get the denseness of the cupcake, but then you get that gob of hot fudge, and the frosting is just, it's awesome, and just topped with the Butterfinger, it's delicious. So
Good flavor. Really good.
yeah, so this is the same cupcake mix that they have you use for their cookies and cream. So if we ever make those, we'll be making those exactly the same again.
Just a different frosting.
Just a different frosting, yeah, cookies and cream frosting. But I do think these are absolutely delicious.
And I would make them this size.
I love the size. I think this is a reasonable size to make them, especially if you're gonna try to feed a lot of people with them. 24 cupcakes is terrific. Why would you, the other one only makes 6. If you make jumbo ones, would take you less time, but it would take you less time because of filling every single cupcake. You know, I had to fill 24 cupcakes with hot fudge. You would only be filling 6. But still, I think this is a more reasonable size.
Yeah, I do too.
So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.